Maybe someone actually told us, don't sing, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I watch my nephews ridicule one of my nephews for singing. It's like, okay, well, there's the start of shutting this kid's voice, beautiful voice, down.
Well, the thing is, I think maybe this could be used as an invitation to reaccess those beautiful voices that we had as children.
Exactly.
And bring them out again, because I think many people would just feel so much better in life if they could just sing again.
Oh,
because
singing is very happy.
Children, I've noticed, does your son sing?
Can't stop him.
Exactly. And our daughter, children sing because it's a natural response to being alive, I think.
Beautiful, beautifully said.
Yeah.
It's also, like, if you want to get heavy about it, there's also some sense of, like, this is our joy in us, waiting. The world's waiting for our joy.
Yeah.
And not just that it makes us happy and gives us endorphins and makes us feel good.
The world.
Your singing gave me joy. I could have sat and done it by myself. I do that. I do that too. But there's, this is a whole different level of exchange that took place for you guys to take the risk and share your voice with me.
Because we could see, we were singing from this still place, even though we were saying, oralizing. We were with each other in a very still, peaceful place while we were doing that activity.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the repetition allows you to get comfortable in it very fast, right?
Yeah.
Like you get 1 or 2 lines of mantra and then you're just good to go. Yeah. And in this modern day, like Kirtan traditionally was never very musical. It was more about the mantras, the repetitions, taking it to the streets, making it available to the average person.
Right.
And but now the scene has come up where a lot of musicians are taking on Kirtan as their primary practice. And so they're bringing this whole musical realm with them, and it's really exciting because you're getting some very amazing fusions.
Yes, the fusion of the training, because I'm classically trained.
There
The
you
fusion of the training with the freedom of the spiritualizing of the music.
Go sit up here.
Please.
This is Deborah Judith.
There you go.
Okay.
Beautiful guitar or piano. I've heard you play. Saw your videos on the YouTube there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
very
actually,
nice.
in a few of the concerts, some spontaneous vocalizations started to happen.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I'm really, wanting to bring out the singing.
Well, that's just the point. I think that if more people sang, wouldn't it be a much happier place?
Such a simple thing, right? Like, it's very unassuming.
If we can share the happiness we've found with others, the more people finding happiness and sharing that's the infection I want to see sweep the globe.
Exactly.
Because happy people do happy things and
they make each other happy.
Totally. Yeah.
And
it's
out of
infectious.
happiness
Exactly.
is born incredible action and choices.
Yeah. I mean, it can be such a creative and wonder-filled life.
Well, when I heard Beth saying about the responsorial chant, and then I thought, oh, cool. And then Irvin comes in and says to me, do you want to chant? I'm like, yeah.
Of course.
No problem. I mean, I've got a Krishna Das CD, and that's one of my fun CDs if I feel like really getting down and dancing and singing. And
Nice.
Well, I mean, that's the point. I mean, we can make life into a dance of ecstasy, or a shuffle into gloom and doom. I'd rather do
we've plumbed the depths long enough. Let's rise up. Let's rise up.
And also, if you happen to be in that state where there is some seemingly necessary suffering going on, you're in a stage, you're in a phase that you find yourself suddenly, like that's the thing about the caregiver's refuge, is that these people just suddenly, your spouse has an accident, sudden illness, all these kind of things come up, and bang, your life is different. And you don't have access to the freedom that maybe the average person would around just giving themselves simple pleasures. And so if you can add to the mix of that something that is so one-pointedly intending on putting joy out into the world, because that is actually what makes us happy, right? We have this sense that, well, if I just bring enough good things to me, then I'll be happy. And it's quite the opposite.
That viewpoint is going. We receive happiness, and that increases our receiving.
Yeah, exactly. It's that full circle. So that's where,
And we're getting much more
Yeah.
into this circular interconnectivity. Like you said with Facebook, that's a great vehicle
But it's
for
a
that.
spiral, you know. It can
Yes,
evolve.
it spirals. It's not
it
just
doesn't
a
necessarily
closed circle.
recur, but it's an evolving circle where
Mm-hmm.
where we can, for example, in caregiving, I feel like the development, the cultivation, you might say, of kindness and compassion in the actions, in the process of giving care to someone, is an immensely profound spiritual practice.
Mm-hmm. It is huge. It is huge,
You
and
know,
it's
when
not
when you
easy.
actually feel deep compassion for the one that you are giving care for,
Yeah.
that is not just a blessing in that small circle, but to the whole world, to the universe, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
You know, there can't be
Yeah.
enough love and compassion.
That's right. No, and the circumstances can really make you the opposite, grumpy. Right? I find
Right.
myself as a mother that there's this like going on behind the scenes all the time because there just simply is not enough time and energy for what needs to get accomplished during the day. There's not. And my son begs me to play with him, and it's like, yeah, but what's the sacrifice here that, you know, like life won't get taken care of? That I have a song I sent you, 2 Foot Takeoff, and it's all about
lovely.
all about the like the feet have to be on the ground. We have to be connected to basic life first.
Right,
And-
but life that we're connected to on the ground can also be a joy, right?
Right, and
Rather than a, you know, something that you're mired in or stuck
True
to.
enough, and I feel like if there's any lesson on earth I'm meant to learn, that's it. That's the one, because I'm very easy on this in this spiritual realm. That all comes very natural to me. Intellectual, you know, out there, all that, but like feet on the ground. That's where just starting with the basics. Take care of, like, did I brush my teeth? Did I, like, all the, like, you know, really, really fundamental things that
What
people don't
perfection
really
can
have
we realize
necessarily.
in brushing our teeth?
Mm-hmm,
You know, like, where is the
True.
perfection in all this? You know, when I'm looking at myself in the mirror first thing in the morning, you know, do I see what's perfect about this, or is it just, you know, a mechanical response to what I've thought I've seen before? You know, that kind of thing. Just
That's right.
responding to old patterns, and I think the Kirtan and just all your work that you've been talking about, and you know, trying to reveal a little bit about to us, just shows that you are motivated by something that is truly like a seed that is in all of us. You know, I mean, I think your life is a demonstration of hope for all of us. I mean, think of it.
Thank you so much.
It's easy.
Well, it's inspiring to hear your story.
Yeah, because
I know
it's
of it
true.
vaguely. My mother passed away from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
although she was diagnosed in the pre-cancerous stages, and when she was 47, and then her life changed. She started embracing the spiritual, and I believe
good for
that
her.
helped prolong her life. Like
She has
lived,
one of the longest lived cases of that particular disease.
and
Wow.
then it, she passed in 1969. And I
No.
know when she was 69, excuse
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years ago almost. So, that's awesome to hear your story. And I've seen now I'm meeting more people that have turned around cancer. And I think that too is a great teaching, to realize that these diseases are not like a death sentence. It's actually can be an opportunity, a very high, steep gradient opportunity to make some deep changes in our life.
Which obviously you have.
Yes, you have. You're still here. Although I feel ultimately that death, if we do go through death, that purifies that which we've gone through. You know, that we do ultimately benefit from that. And yes, the soul will heal, will be given more opportunities to heal, as you say, the damage to the soul by not honoring that voice of the soul. And as I've learned from one teacher, that the soul is the boss of our life, what you call being, that we really, if we live according to that being, that center within us, then our life goes way better. So,
or not necessarily more easily, but it really does get
Not
us
more
to the
easily.
point we wanted to do.
but it's
we
the
wanted to
ultimate
complete.
problem solver. When we get the challenges, the solution manifests if we're in alignment with our true aim for being here. So
True enough. Yeah, you don't feel like you're wasting your life. There's something like even in the midst of the hardship, it's so productive to the soul.
yes,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
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 So-
And no stagnation here. No when you're
Yeah.
climbing.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if
There's actually an
Mhm.
exhilaration with the climb, you know, when we get really conditioned and toned and realize, you know, accept this is part of a healthy life. It actually see that mountain, oh boy, let's go.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
by the time we
Yeah.
get to be able to climb it, we're ready for it.
Yeah.
And we have lots of support.
And that's
I
the
can't
point.
say that enough.
And
it is the point.
opening up that
And that's
more and
just
more.
that's true because
think-
every point. Every point along the way seems to be guided in some way if we just open our eyes to it and see.
Yeah. Every time I let myself get, get more, it's a sort of natural isolation in my life between work and parenting. There's,
Yes.
night
Yes.
after night, I'm on my own, and then suddenly I'll find myself in a place where there's zero inspiration. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. The motivation is gone, and all it takes is to get on the phone with one person who gets it. And then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, or like this kind
Yes.
of an interview situation. It's interesting. It's like suddenly come up a bunch of interviews, and every one of them is leaving me with this renewed sense of like hopefulness around it. That it's not just my own crazy ambitions or whatever. You can't. I think
Yes.
that the universe designed us so that we actually cannot function in isolation. Like it's some cosmic joke or something.
Have you ever noticed that, like, when you come to an intersection, let's say, in the middle of a prairie, and there's this intersection, right? And just as you're about to turn, 3 other cars come at that same junction point. And I've seen it so often that the universe wants us to connect.
It's colliding us all over.
Yeah,
the place.
exactly. It's
yeah.
just like, and then in another second, they're all
Right,
separate
and then
again.
if
But
we-
at that
yes.
junction point where there's an opportunity to connect, it always seems we are almost forced by the universe to recognize that we are not alone here.
So do we
That
take
we all
the
have something to do.
opportunity? Do we take the
Together.
opportunity to go, say hello, and just let go of the mindset?
Yeah.
The mindsets we've grown up with. I say goodbye mindsets. Send them all to Hawaii to a nice beach and
Mexico.
Mexico.
Mexico's nice too.
Get
But
transformed.
the thing is that I think this is the whole point. We don't have to be going anywhere exotic. I mean, when we look around us, the world is now populated with double the number of human beings from when I was born. More than double. It's more than doubled. And there are so many of us, and yet the sense is that there's so much inner isolation. We're are alone in the midst of 7 billion others like us.
Yeah, odd, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what we could
something's
do,
very strange about
yeah,
that.
what
That
we
ain't
could
right.
do together. I mean,
Yeah.
because when you just take away the outside mask, the facade of our conditioning, of who we are supposedly, what label I've had stuck on me, from my experience and from the life I've had to live. When you take that off, you'll see something that's vibrant and creative, and that's in everyone, some secret treasure. And if we're brought out, my goodness, what happiness and joy and just wonder could be unleashed.
Well,
Think of, instead of the colliding kind of chaotic existence that seems to happen, what would 7 billion human beings who are totally dedicated and kind and compassionate and creative, what could that build? What could that create out of this world that we've got, such a beautiful world?
So,
Yeah.
this idea of this interview series was born just in the last few days,
Yeah.
and you're the first to
Oh,
participate.
that's funny. Yeah.
And that's great, but this whole idea, we were grooving on it a few nights ago. I called it something like bring out your best. A chance for people to show their divine light. And just
Yeah.
to share that with everybody, because we all have a great gift. We all have an immense gift. And I've met so many beings, for example, here in the city of Winnipeg, I've met so many beings that